Hello, my name is Tara Starling. I chose this photo by Jonathan Bachman titled Demonstrator. So this photo was taken on July 9th in 2016 outside of the police department in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The photo shows Aisha Evans on the right, peacefully protesting the murder of Alton Sterling by two police officers. So in this photo, we can see Evan's body language is remaining very calm. Her feet are firmly planted on the ground. Her shoulders are back. She is standing up, right and tall. Her dress is blowing in the wind. She looks almost serene in this image. We also see her eyes closed and her hands out, like she is ready to be detained. Um, it the mood of this is like she is ready to sacrifice herself for something or someone, and maybe it's the greater good. Um, Technically, this is not a war photo, but it is a glimpse into the continued fight for racial equity. When we go back to compare Aisha Evans and the two riot police officers on the left, it looks like the police officers were caught in motion, like they were rushing or being maybe heading towards Evans with some force. They are also completely covered in layers of protective gear in addition to many different weapons, which is striking contrast to Evan's bare shoulders and legs and open back with no protective gear and no weapons. We also have in the subject anyway, we have two main riot police officers on the left versus the one single peaceful protester. We also have the line, or almost like a wall of police officers in the back left behind the two in the foreground. Like they are ready to come in at any moment if the two main police officers were to need backup. When we look on the right behind Evans, we do not see a line of anyone there to back her up. We see a couple people way in the background that are just maybe onlookers watching what's happening. So, Alton Sterling was a black male who was selling homemade CDs outside of a convenience store when he was murdered by a police officer. Two officers were involved, and when the video footage finally came out, it showed officers yelling profanities and threats at Alton Sterling and then tackling him and fatally shooting him 6 times. This happened at a time when police brutality, particularly towards black and brown men, seemed to be at an all-time high. 6 years later, it does not seem like we have much signs of decreasing, unfortunately. So, looking at the elements and compositions in this photo, Bachman used line, space, and form. Compositionally, we have the subjects in the center of the photo, asymmetrical balance with the wall of police officers in the back on the left. Bachman took this photo at a low angle with a fast shutter speed, which is why he was able to capture the police officers in motion. So when we discuss line throughout this, it's spread through the entire composition. The lines on the road are horizontal. We have the lines of the curb, the repeated horizontal lines kind of going all the way through bottom to top or top to bottom. We have the limbs of the trees, which eventually start looking like their horizontal lines, in addition to the layered building in the background. To contrast that, we have all of the people, which bodies are kind of pulling your eye upward vertically. So the subjects, Evans and the two riot police officers, are placed in the center of the composition. Bachman uses negative space around them on the left and on the right to kind of reinforce their importance. They're also larger and much closer in the foreground than everything else. Like I said, the photo shows asymmetrical balance with the seemingly never ending line of police officers that are armed and protected on the back left, and no one to help or support or jump in for Aisha Evans on the right. I think that's what makes this image look so powerful. We have one woman standing up to a small army of police officers and offering herself up. This almost provides like it's a heavy feel to this photo, but it's almost like a story. It's a little theatrical. The story that you unfortunately know the ending, but are really proud to see like someone standing up for what they think is right. Oh, who is the photographer and who are the intended viewers? So I already said Jonathan Bachman is the photographer. He's a photojournalist. He is a freelance photographer and was working for the Associated Press when he took this image. So the title of the image demonstrator is another example of a photo that can change or make viewers reconsider their original beliefs. Bachman was working for the Associated Press and was assigned to cover the Alton Sterling protests in 2016. This image was taken during his first demonstration, and it was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize. Bachman also claims that he did not have an audience in mind and does not or continues to not have an audience in mind when taking photos. He just tries to focus more on capturing what he is seeing in the moment. So, why is this image famous and what is the lasting impact and legacy? So, this image kind of summarizes a chain of murders, events, like predating 2016 and when this photo was taken, and also continuing on now. Black Lives Matter movement was found in 2013. It has continued to consistently grow in size and like continue to protest different killings and murders of Black and Brown folks. In July of 2016, when this photo was taken during the Alton Sterling murder protests, this photo became a defining image for the Black Lives Matter protests. So I have a couple other stills and photos from the protests. Bachman took all of these. So this I thought was really interesting because you see Evans with her arms crossed, and you can see kind of even a wider angle of no one behind her there to support her, because she is truly walking up and just saying like, take me, like I will be the person that you can detain, I will surrender myself. And then here we have kind of the after photo, so you can see even more how many people, police officers there are. Again, helmets, shields, we have body shields, we have knee pads, just like an inordinate amount of protection when they are also the ones, at least in these photos, that have all of the weapons. And we have Evans, who is peacefully protesting. So these are my resources and where I got most of my information and the images for this. So thank you for listening.